I've come to the conclusion that narcissism is a cope. It's seriously when women say, "Oh, the last guy I was with was a narcissist." That's a fucking cope.
The term is.
Wait, can I say something I've noticed? I don't know if this is the elephant in the room. Mike, we had this discussion like a couple weeks ago where I just noticed that like the more attractive women don't have these standards. It's usually the not attractive women who have these ridiculous standards. So I see that so often.
So what he means by that is this.
Say that.
So
the pretty girls are the ones that are, or a lot of the pretty girls are the ones that are more secure with themselves because they already know the things to do. They already know the techniques to improve their appearance.
Right.
So therefore, you know what I mean? They don't have.
Okay. Do you guys remember? Allie, Michelle, do you guys remember during COVID we threw all those photo shoots? We were at Ranch Island, at Michael Everett's house, at the Dragon Ridge. Do you guys remember all those parties and photo shoots we did during COVID? Right. By the way, sorry to snitch on all of us, but we were partying like a motherfucker in Las Vegas while the clubs were ready. Dude, do you remember that? Like, it was actually more fun. Anyway, the point we're trying to make is when we throw these photo shoots, what would happen? The girls with the biggest followings would always show up on time. They would never fucking complain. They were incredible to shoot with. All the guys were like lined up to shoot with them. The girls who had like 2K followers were asking us to fly them out to Los Angeles, put them up in a hotel room, like give them a fucking what's it called, runner? What's it called when you I forgot what the thing is called when your DJ has it. Yeah, you order stuff.
Dude, it was the same thing.
Like a rider. Yeah, they like wanted a fucking rider. It was crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, my rate is this. Like, shut the up out about your rate. Nobody even knows who you are. And I would write them, I'm like, Caitlin Runk, Kindly Myers, CJ Sparks are coming to this thing for free, but you want us to pay you? But I didn't say that because I don't want to come off as petty. But we're going back to what you said before.
It was the same thing. Even this year when we did we were doing the costume contest at Tao, I would be like, girls 400,000 followers, everyone would just be like, they like the message, they'll be there on time. Then girl from Boston 2K followers, she's like, fly me out. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Jesus Christ. I never have this problem.
You are giving these girls an opportunity to not just network, but make money and have do something else.
Oh, Allie, the bikini competitions. The messages I get from women, it's madness, and they'll be like, well, you have to make sure I win, right? I'm like, why would I rig the competition?
Wait, what messages do you get from the bikini contest?
No, in the bikini competition, so I recruit. I send out like 4,000 messages.
Wow.
No, trust me, none of you make enough money to fucking bribe me. I'm not trying to be arrogant. But like,
I want to know if they try, though.
No, dude, like I do the bikini competition for fun. Like, there's no way you're going to bribe me. But the point is like this. Consider this. No, but consider this from my standpoint, just to be honest with, like, Michelle, you've been in some of the contests.
Yeah.
If I was actually taking bribes, you'd find out.
I don't even think you don't even
yeah, but you'd find out about it, and then no one would do my contest. Yeah. There's a reason why I have the 3 biggest contests in the world is because I recruit and nobody thinks that we rig. But the point I'm trying to make is the messages we would get from girls were delusional. It was
Oh, you're talking about this year when we were both
we were booking for the bikini. It was just crazy. And then it was like Kindly Myers was like, oh yeah, I'll fly out. Yeah, I'll be a judge. Dude, I'll do whatever you want. Like the girls with the biggest followings were just on it. They were always on time. They were prepped. They looked ready. Every girl was following around. Every girl was trying to take pictures with them because they treated it like a job and they were fucking professionals. And then the girls who were just like you said before, it is this mid-tier girl who is so much trouble. Yeah. And I just can't. And this is why this is another thing that I talk about in Men of Action all the time. It's like when the guys start just talking to prettier girls, your life is easier. I know this is the opposite of what you've heard before, but like prettier girls, I'm not saying there isn't some chaos involved with them. What I'm saying is like it is these mid-tier girls that think because they have doctored their photos using FaceApp and Facetune that they're actually a 10 and they treat you like they're actually a 10. That is what I'm not, of course, all girls that are attractive are going to give you some chaos. I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not saying that's not the case. What I'm saying is what I found is the opposite. There's this mid-tier where I have problems, and when I get to this like upper level, like hottest girls, I actually have no issues at all.
I have no issues at all.
They know where they show up on the guest list. They're doing red carpet photo shoots. They're texting you back immediately. They're never doing no call, no show. If you hire them for a job, that immediately the hottest girls, they're the ones who are doing this. So I would like, my whole thing is like, guys, if you're going to do this, just do it with the prettiest girls.
So I'm looking at the chat right here now this is a big myth. Okay, people say like 9s and 10s are the biggest gold diggers. I'm like, no, they're not. It's the 6s, 7s, and maybe 7.5, 8s, right, because 9s and 10s they make enough money that they don't have to be gold diggers, bro. That's
for sure.
For sure.
Wanting a man to match your lifestyle is one thing, but being like, oh my god, Elon Musk and his dad bod, when you know damn well you don't like that, that's different.
There's my favorite girl. She was mad at Rolo this week. Hi Sadia.
But women don't want better. They want what they're used to. So if you meet a woman whose dad was an alcoholic or a dad was abusive or didn't grow up with a father figure, she will have a high-value rich man who treats her really well and cheat with her toxic PT. in the back of his Nissan. And you're thinking, but you've got a rich billionaire, but she's like, I want that chaos. So your competition is never other men. Your competition is her values and her culture. And when you pick a woman who is the dream girl, whose cultures are not monogamous, unfortunately.
So I agree to a certain extent. I think when her values are that screwed up, she's correct. But I don't think this is the case with all women. I do think a lot of women do want chaos. But I've definitely been in a situation where I've seen a girl who it was very clear she wanted chaos. She was like dating someone who's clearly like she's dating the DJ, and then she's like confused why he's cheating on her, and then keeps going back to him. And it was just, it was such a turnoff. I was like, why would you let it's a turnoff to me to watch a girl let a man treat her like that. That's just me, right? That's the way I see it. But there's a level of chaos, and when guys see really attractive women, they don't care about that. They don't care about that chaos. Here's the other thing about the chaos. The chaos comes in waves, right? The chaos comes in waves. Have you guys ever had a night where you went out and you just didn't want anyone to talk to you, and a night where you went out and it was on and popping? Have you ever you have different nights, right, Lindsay?
100%.
Like sometimes women are in just like different moods. I've always said this before, dude. Every night, ladies, you can disagree with me if you want to open this. There's 3 nights a year, or maybe 3 nights every 5 years, where any girl, if you bumped into her at the right time, you could end up going home with her. If you were just you agree with me?
I think so.
If it's just if you hit the right girl at the right time,
all you have to do is not it up.
Just right.
You understand?
That's a hard one right there.
She just got broken up with, something like that happened, and if you were just right there on the right night. And that's the thing, a lot of these girls who like chaos, if you guys have ever dated a girl who has bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder, when you meet them on the upswing, it's open. It's
awesome.
It's wonderful.
It's so much fun.
Awesome.
Everything is for if you guys, this is a good lesson for any of you guys who are watching. If you ever meet a girl who's BPD,
just time everything.
This is the description. Tell me if you've experienced these symptoms.
BPD 1 though, not 2.
BPD 1.
There's 2 different ones.
So
one is like this.
in this one, what you're going to see is openness. She's down for anything. She follows you everywhere.
Manic.
She wants to do she's manic.
Obsessive.
Like you want to fuck her and 4
Ride
girls.
or die.
You want to fuck her and 4 girls at the same time. She's down for whatever.
In the middle of Walmart.
Yeah, in the middle of Walmart. Everything is okay. Everything is open. Everything is more. Everything is better, and you are incredible. Then you call her back a couple days later, and she ghosts you. She blows you off. What the fuck's going on here? That was weird.
Buyer's remorse.
Is it buyer's remorse? Or what is it? A lot of times you're dealing with about 6% of the female population, or 6% of the population suffers from BPD, borderline personality disorder. So that's essentially what you're going through. But the problem is a lot of guys go out there and they'll meet girls that are going through that, and they think that they have game. They think that they created that. Like, no, a lot of times you just bump. You got lucky. You got lucky because you met up with the girl while the iron is hot. I know a buddy of mine. He ended up sleeping with this like supermodel. He was just out at a bar one night, and he just was drinking alcohol, and the girl was like, okay, cool, I want to go home. And I knew who the girl was, and it was just like she was on that night. She found out her husband was cheating on her. He happened to be at the right place at the right fucking time, and then that shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So
she was looking for instant gratification.
Yeah,
got it
for
right
sure.
in that moment.
So
Yeah.
here I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in all this. Saudi is full of shit. She's been full of shit for a long time. All of this stuff is just basically pop psychology, just rehashed over and over and over again. Put it this way: Dr. Orion Taraban is a way better analyst when it comes to like human psychology and evolutionary psychology, but he doesn't have tits and he doesn't look like her.
Well,
title of the video is "Why Women Want What They Are Used to." Okay, here's the thing: is if a woman is used to a hot ass guy who's exciting and fun, like Mr. Perfect sucks. All right,
Yeah.
Perfect is boring. When you were talking, I need a guy that can really like turn me on and like really bring out that animalistic thing. Once you're with a guy that actually does that, like that's the next benchmark. That's what you're used to. It's not about your fucking
Raise the
culture.
bar.
It's not about your like how you were raised or whatever. Was that guy the it guy? Was
You don't
that
think
guy,
the upbringing has
was that-
anything to do with it, then?
I think it does in a sense, because that's going to determine who that guy ends up being, obviously. But once you get to that guy, that's the next level. That's the benchmark for the next one that comes up.
Well-
So if you're with a guy who's like the guy's a rock climber and he flies helicopters and he parachutes from high places, right? If that guy is a base jumper and he can turn you on and really get your blood flowing, that guy is now that's what we call an alpha widow. Okay, that guy is an alpha and you're widowed away from.
Okay.
So if that's what you're used to,
Afraid of
yeah.
he's gonna die.
Perfect.
See that guy?
Perfect.
Give it a shot.
So-
Give it a
so-
shot.
Then we hear about church girls who go like nuts because they went to a Catholic girls' school their entire life, and then they suddenly become the biggest sluts that anybody's ever been with.
Yeah, well, that's we had Nicolette Shea on here.
So
and she
is that
was repressed.
because is that repressed? I mean, we have Rose on here occasionally
Yeah.
too. Like she's like sort of I've discovered my sexuality, right? Well, her background, her family she lived in a cult.
Yeah.
Right. So
Maybe it was different type of chaos.
I don't see her cult members.
I think that comes down to personality type, though. There's some women that rebel against everything they've known because they decided my childhood was not what I wanted to experience anything close to ever again.
So then it's not what they're used to. It's what they want to get.
But I feel comfortable saying that I think for women, the bar is set based off of our childhood, based off of having a father, not having a father, having an abusive father, having a...
And then based on their level of growth.
Right,
so
and you choose those new standards, and they evolve.
The
baseline is from your
There's never going to be a one-to-one correlation either. There are people who grow up without parents who end up great, and there's people who grow up with parents who ended up being terrible. So there's the Menendez brothers, right? Like there's always examples of either kind of thing. What I think the answer is like our discussion about dual mating and mate switching is that I think it's a spectrum, and there's a like I think a girl can be fucked up enough in her childhood to where she does crave chaos. The other thing, though, is that when we talk about borderline, histrionic, narcissism, or antisocial personality disorder, there's a certain piece of that is genetic, especially with antisocial personality disorder. So a genetic necessity for chaos might also be in there. But one thing I've noticed as a man, when we talk about red flags, when I see a woman who is consistently complaining about her last 3 exes being the same way, they're all narcissists. And they might actually be. They're all crazy. They all treated her bad. At some point, if you have if you've had 10 roommates and all the roommates you have a problem with, eventually you're the roommate with the problem. Eventually you have to come to the realization you're the roommate with the problem.
I've come to the conclusion that narcissism is a cope. It's seriously, when women say, the last guy I was with was a narcissist. That's
I think a lot of times it is.
No, that's a
I think
cope.
the term is abused, but I definitely think that
I think some of them are. I've seen some dudes who are pretty bad. Like they're
that's why I kept
beating the shit out of
women. We had Jesse Preston on last week, and I was like, what's when you get to like attention seeking versus like true narcissism? Where's the threshold right there? Because unless you can tell me that, it's a fucking cope.
Yeah,